You may have heard the term stuck in the Matrix lately. Made obviously famous by the movie, and even more recently by individuals like Andrew Tate. But if you don't know what the Matrix is, it's basically like a big psyop, a system programming you to believe that you are capable of nothing more than clocking into and clocking out of work in exchange for an amount that the government tells you your time is worth, then using the very little free time you have to escape from the life that you don't want to be living. A life without really any purpose, just endless consuming and working to be able to consume even more. Most of us don't even realize we're stuck in this cycle until we manage to awaken and find a way out of it, which is what happened to us.
The Matrix refers to systems and structures in society that keep us bound to the traditional ways of living and working. These systems can include social norms, cultural expectations, educational institutions, and corporate structures that often prioritize profit over people. Essentially, the Matrix is the status quo that many people feel trapped in, making it difficult to break free and live life on their own terms.
Basically, it's just stopping you from having any sort of free thinking whatsoever.
So for a very long time, we didn't realize that we were stuck in the Matrix, but we always felt like something was just off, like a gut feeling. And that was what pushed us to make some very drastic changes in our lives. So in today's video, we're going to be sharing those changes that we made that really got us to where we are today and made us feel like we successfully escaped the Matrix. It's been a long 5-year journey to where we are today, living in Thailand in a very nice villa, working online, making a decent income. Mandy's pregnant. We're about to have our first baby, and both of us are going to be home and present raising the baby, which we're so unbelievably grateful for. So it all started for us back in 2019. We were living in Australia and we were running a garden maintenance business together while Mandy was also working from home as a beauty therapist. We were renting a house for about $2,500 a month, nothing fantastic, a pretty modest 2-bedroom unit. And we were trying to work towards what everyone's pretty much working towards, which is buying our own home and becoming financially independent, but we couldn't seem to get there.
We were definitely living paycheck to paycheck. Like, it was tough. Financially, also on our relationship, like, it was just not a easy way of living.
We were pretty much going to a wedding, a bucks party, a hens party, a baby shower, a birthday party, every single weekend, which didn't leave much free time to work on like a side hustle or even save any money.
So we were pretty like in a down point in our life. Like, our businesses were not killing it by any means. And just, I guess we weren't passionate about the way that we were living. And at that time we heard, well, actually Lloyd heard it first, was a podcast by Sophie Howard. I think she was on someone else's podcast, just talking about Amazon FBA and this world of e-commerce. And it was like something just clicked in our brains, like this could be our ticket out of whatever this life is that we're living right now.
So I'd always thought that owning your own business meant you had escaped the life of an employee and you could be free to go on holidays and have all this free time because you own your own business and you're your own boss, until we started our own businesses and realized that it was way more work than working for somebody else. Even though we felt better because we were actually working for ourselves, it was impossible to get any free time. And I realized that a business like that, a garden maintenance business, really can only grow to be so big, and you have to be hands-on running that business 24/7. I think the term is, if you have to be working on your business every single day 24/7, then you have a job. So one day while we were working, I was listening to a podcast and it really struck a chord because Sophie Howard was talking about how she was a stay-at-home mum and she managed to build this online business where she had to put in a lot of work at the beginning, but then it became passive and she sold that business for $1 million. So I showed it to Mandy and Mandy listened to it as well. And honestly, that is the trigger point that changed our lives.
So after hearing about the podcast and just like sort of having that like incubating for a few weeks, we went actually to go visit family in Canada. And at the end of that holiday, we were just at a point where we're like, we need to just make a change. We need to do something because we can't keep doing this. We need to take the leap. Pretty much when we got back, we just became obsessed with online entrepreneurship. We started watching so many videos, like we went completely down the YouTube rabbit hole, started watching other channels like Cara and Nate were a huge inspiration to us early on. Los LeBlanc, Rhett and Claire, who we're actually friends with now. We watched their videos before we even started. Just seeing this different world of like digital nomads and learning all what that was all about. And it really inspired us seeing regular people doing this thing that seemed so out of reach for us at the time.
So we really started fantasizing with what it would be like just to work online and live somewhere really cool like Bali. And so we actually developed a plan which was the first step into this journey of escaping the matrix, which was getting rid of all of our possessions that we didn't need, like the new car that we owned, all of the stuff that we had in our garage that we just weren't really using, like surfboards, kayaks and bikes, and just the stuff that you accumulate when you're living somewhere that you really don't actually need. And I think detaching from material things was the first step. So basically the plan was we sell everything, we give ourselves 12 months to start this online business and get it to a point where we can make enough money to go and live in Bali. And how we did that was we bought a caravan and we bought a really cheap car, and we just went and signed up for this course and started learning absolutely everything there was about e-commerce and Amazon. The problem was trying to explain that to everybody when you're 30 something years old and you just sold all of your stuff and you moved into a caravan to start an online business is extremely tough.
Okay, we just need to take a quick break to thank Level 8 for sponsoring today's video and also supplying us with the best quality luggage for the past 2 years now. So if you want to live the nomadic lifestyle, then you'll need luggage that will hold up in all conditions, which is why we've been using Level 8 for so long. Like us, Level 8 is all about traveling light and efficient, which is why we recently upgraded our carry-on to these awesome new hard shell Roadrunner 20-inch carry-on pieces. Just like the full-size luggage sets, the carry-on luggage is made from durable materials that are also waterproof, which is super important if you're traveling and you're going to be walking around with your luggage through cities, because you never know when you get caught in a rainstorm, especially somewhere here like Thailand where it rains all the time. They also have this cool little compartment for our laptops, making it so much easier to access your electronics when you're at the airport and going through security. Honestly, I don't know why they make you take your laptop and your electronics out of your carry-on when you're going through those security checkpoints, but they do. It's super annoying, but that's going to be a lot easier now with our new upgraded carry-on pieces. And having the hard shell on it also means you can rest assured that your stuff isn't going to get damaged when it's in the overhead lockers. I know whenever I'm flying and we go through turbulence, or like the guy in front of me just slams his bag on top of my backpack, I'm worried that when we get off the flight, my camera's going to be in pieces, or my computer's not going to be working because it's been damaged during the flight. But not anymore. And Level 8 also offers a lifetime warranty on all of their products. So if you're interested in leveling up your travel game, click the link down below in the description, and don't forget to use code Lloyd and Mandy because you'll get 10% off your purchase.
Okay, so we were living in a caravan, and we started realizing as we were like learning all the stuff for e-commerce that this was going to take quite a bit longer than we had anticipated, but we were super into it and working on it every day. However, money started dwindling, so we had to take a part-time job at a cafe, which was probably one of the harder parts, especially from like Lloyd came from having quite looked upon jobs, I guess, in the regular world, like working in mining, or he worked on the rigs, and I had a good job at a spa. Like we had regular good jobs and our businesses and things, and then going and taking a step back and having to work hospitality again was kind of like a what's the right word?
It was a hit on the ego.
Yeah, a real big hit on the ego. So you definitely have to let your ego go. That's like a huge step in just coming out of this character that you've been playing, I guess. It's the only way that I can explain it. We were doing just anything that worked around our schedule, that we could have as much time as possible to be able to learn and work on e-commerce, which is definitely, I think, something that a lot of people just aren't willing to take that ego hit in order to change your life, essentially. To your peers, it looks like you've just like completely failed. Again, this is probably one of the hardest things to get through, is just all the outside judgment and opinions that tend to come when you do something different than everyone else. It's still something, even to this day, we have to keep working on, because we're always changing and evolving, and we're met with criticism every single time we do something. So it's just, it prepares you for the future as well. So it is really important to note, when Lloyd and I started this, we had no skills, no real knowledge at all on online business. Like, we had no background in schooling or anything like this. I had like basic like computer skills from like a course I took in like grade 9. Lloyd did not even know how to use a computer. So this really took a lot of faith for us to just trust that we'd get better at it.
So after a couple of years, we had just enough income where we thought maybe we could actually go and live in Bali, but it wasn't a lot. It was enough to live very cheaply in Bali, but the plan was, again, to just back ourselves and go to Bali and see if we could focus on this business like 24 hours a day, if we could actually build it to be something really profitable. And that's what we did. And we decided that we were going to document all of this on YouTube. Actually, that was your idea.
Yeah. Lloyd wasn't so keen on, you were keen on the vlog, but being in front of the camera was not comfortable at all, really, for either of us. But just something in me said we should just document this. And I'm really glad we did.
It felt like we were doing something that not many other people were doing, especially traveling to Bali at the time. There was a lot of fear around traveling, especially in Asia. And for Australians, like, we were being told that it was very dangerous to leave Australia. Like, a lot of people were really scared, but we weren't, even though people were telling us that we were crazy. And so I think that's why we decided to document it, because it seemed like we could actually provide a lot of value to other people, like they provided to us when we were watching channels like Lost LeBlanc and Cara and Nate and Rhett and Claire. They inspired us, and so the idea was kind of to inspire other people. So once we got to Bali, we started documenting everything we were doing as digital nomads, and our business was growing and it was doing quite well, but our YouTube channel started doing even better, and it kind of took on a life of its own after about 6 months. So in May of 2022, we decided we were going to go all in on YouTube because it was working. And we really enjoyed it. We actually had fun doing it. The traveling that we were doing and all the people that we were meeting and the adventures that we were having, plus being able to make a living off it, we just couldn't really say no to it.
So if you look at our channel, you'll see that we've obviously traveled to a bunch of different places after that. We sort of caught the travel bug. The travel content was going really well for our channel and our business as well, so we kept that going. Bali also just didn't end up being the place that we wanted to set up our roots. At the end, after spending 6 months there, we wanted to see what else was out there, which I'm so grateful that we did. After spending quite a few months in Southeast Asia, we ended up in Mexico and spent an extended period there as well, which had always been something that Lloyd and I wanted to do. So it sort of just felt like we were actually ticking off all these bucket list items that we'd always spoke about, saying like, one day we'll go do this, one day we'll go do that. And I started realizing, like, we're actually doing all the things we said that we were gonna do one day. Like, one day is right now. And that felt pretty crazy, because like, you always just assume, oh, it's just gonna happen. One day we'll have a travel vlog. One day we'll do this, and like, our dreams actually started coming true. And one last thing, I think it was sort of just like had to scratch an old itch or something. I don't even know what the right term that I could use, but we had to go back to van life. It was something that Lloyd and I had done in our past and had wanted to relive again. So we tried van life again in North America and did that for a while, but it just long term, not ideal, and especially in the economy that we're in, really opened our eyes to how many people are actually just living in their cars and living in RVs because they have no choice, which is really sad. And like, we had the choice whether or not we wanted to be there, but again, we just got to do all these things that we said that we wanted to do and got to tick them off the list. We even in that time got to elope in Vegas.
which was incredible. Felt like we were in a movie as well. After almost 2 years of living out of suitcases and in the RV, doing the van life thing, we decided that it was time to find somewhere that actually could be our full-time home.
And now we had a full-time income from a business that we actually enjoyed working on, which was pretty much the goal from the beginning. And we just had to find a home. So we ended up settling on Thailand for a few reasons. Number one being it's affordable. The next reason probably being that it's just a beautiful country. Like there's so much to do and see in Thailand, the beaches and all the cool little islands that are in Thailand. There's so much to do, especially as content creators. The fact that there's so many places you can go to from Thailand around Southeast Asia, and it's so cheap to fly anywhere in this area. And then the people are just absolutely amazing in Thailand. It was kind of a no-brainer for us. We'd been here before and we'd scoped out a few different places. So we settled on Thailand. We managed to find a villa within the first month of being here in Hua Hin, which is pretty crazy.
And it's so perfect for us. It's like you couldn't have made a better home.
Honestly, in 2019, when we started this, if you had told us in 5 years this is where we would have ended up, being in this position and living the lifestyle that we're living, it would have saved us so much stress and anxiety. So many sleepless nights not knowing if we were going to run out of money, if we were going to have to go home, if we were going to have to basically do the walk of shame. Like we went and tried to follow our dreams and it didn't succeed. And to be honest, like we came pretty close a few times.
Yeah, there were many times that it felt like that's where we were at, but somehow we just kept persevering. That was it. We just didn't stop.
I think when you can see that something's working, even if it's taking a long time, that's just enough to keep you going. And because we had already figured out how to make money online and do something we loved, and the money was coming in and it was growing, I think that was enough for us to just keep pushing past the pain points. We pushed ourselves really hard for the last 5 years. From taking jobs that we didn't necessarily want to do, working long hours and working nights just to get our side hustle up and running. We had to leave a lot of friends back home, which was hard, but I think sometimes if you want to grow as a person, you need to be in a growth mindset and you need to be around other people that are in a growth mindset as well.
Yeah, your environment is everything. That's something that we've learned, especially through traveling. When we're not feeling like we're in a healthy, supportive environment, it really affects the work that you're putting out and the quality of the work, how you feel on a day-to-day basis, how healthy you feel. It's everything. So everything that we went through this entire process has got us to where we are today and made us into the people that we are today, especially the traveling and just seeing how different people live, and seeing that there are many different ways to live financially. Not everybody, wants the same type of life. Not everybody wants there to be Western fast food places in their country, or not everybody needs the 5-bedroom house with the pool. Some people are a lot happier with a lot less. Also, just seeing other countries that prioritize things like family and your health a lot more, that's influenced us a lot. Our health has gotten so much better. We've both stopped drinking. We're just so much more healthy now because we actually have the time to focus on our health. As opposed to when we were working and stuck in the matrix, and it literally makes it impossible to take care of yourself the way that you need to. For me, that's the most valuable thing, is your health. And if it wasn't for watching other people show us that this was possible, we never would have taken the leap. We wouldn't be sitting where we are today. So that's why we feel we need to do our due diligence and return the favor to these other creators that have put out this option for us, to hopefully inspire other people to be able to take the leap and follow your dreams as well. We are really regular, boring people. So I hope that can, reach someone else. If you just want to be able to afford to go out to dinner with your family, or be able to spend your morning how you want to, it doesn't have to be that you want the crazy, influencer lifestyle. Maybe you just want a little bit of comfort and just to feel proud of yourself and not dependent on a system. or someone else to give you the life that you want, and be able to take that into your own hands. I guess that's what we're trying to get across.
So hopefully this video got the wheels turning in your head, and if you enjoyed this type of content, let us know down below in the comments, because we're happy to make more videos like this going into more detail, specifically about like our YouTube channel and how we built it to where it is today, and our other online businesses. We hope you found this video helpful and maybe took some inspiration from it. This is just our story. Everybody has a completely different story, but this is how we got to where we are today.
And I know that the matrix term can make us seem like a little bit kooky. We totally understand, because beforehand, like if someone would have been saying things like this to me back when we first started, I wouldn't have been as open-minded to the concept and would have shut a lot of things down. But I do encourage you to do a little bit more research just into what the matrix is and just how free a lot of us aren't. So just to keep that in mind. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we will see you in the next video. Bye.
Run away, run away.